Hey, it's Dominic D'Angelo. It's Rumor and Innuendo. It's Friday, TGIF, everyone, and it's Royal Rumble weekend. I'm here with Mr. Robert Karplis, WD Creative _ish. Robert, you got the right link, right?
Dom is the best producer in all of wrestling podcasting. He sent me the link for where we were supposed to log in. I'm sitting there. I'm waiting. I'm going, I think he sent me the wrong link. And sure enough, he did. Now I come to find out he's out and about in what looks like a bombed out warehouse. Or if you went to Disney MGM Studios as a kid, there was like the outdoor play area from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That's what that looks like right behind you, Dom. But because you're in there, it's going to be high quality audience. Let's say hi to the folks who are joining us here live. So if I do a lot of the talking, we'll all know why. Wanna says, hello, R&I. If Drew Carey shows up in the Rumble, you know Cody's winning it. Okay.
Cleveland
Um,
rocks.
Yeah,
That's a
look,
great.
of all the celebrities who were in the Royal Rumble, Drew Carey was definitely one of them. Wrestling Old Head says, "Good after morning, R&I. Robert, give us the scoop on BRCW's Steve Macklin. Is he showing up at the Riyadh Rumble or is he all elite? I can confirm right here, right now, Steve Macklin will be defending his BRCW World Heavyweight title against Matt Taven at our next show. That is a main event anywhere in the world. That'll be
Headliner.
taking place Sunday, March 1st at Birthday Bash. It's a dream match for me. I'm super excited. And I don't know what's going on with that. I've seen some texts and tweets and whatever back and forth about this. If AEW, or no, sorry, if TNA in any way, shape, or form is genuinely not moving forward with Steve Macklin, I give up on that organization. Dude
It
is
is a head
he
scratcher.
look, Macklin sucks, but he is a world class performer. But a consummate heel through and through. Cammy Star says after morning, so it'd be hilarious. AAA finish. You throw a bucket of ice water on Mr. Iguana, he falls in an easy pin. I like that. That's quite good. Giant 4 foot iguana froze outside of my window. It's lying on the floor for a while. The landscaper didn't know what was going on. Went to go move that sucker. That dude woke up, bolted off.
That's the way you got
Tremendous.
You got to live that way.
Dre
Good
Owen
for the
says,
iguana.
"Hello, R and I. Let's enjoy a Miller High Life while watching the Rumble tomorrow." That's a good callback to on Working Stiff talked about drinking Miller High Life and eating Pizza Hut.
First beer I ever had was a Miller High Life.
That was your first beer.
First beer. Playing poker in the dorm rooms. Underage,
Um,
everybody.
I don't remember my first beer was it was something in high school. I don't remember exactly what it was. In college, it was a lot of Natty Light or Bush Light.
Oh, yeah.
That
Bush
was
Light.
the in Gainesville, like our super premium. I remember when it came to town, Pabst Blue Ribbon, my junior year, first started being available, and people lined up for this, like this was like Magnolia Bakery in New York, circa like Sex in the City time. Like this was insane. The demand for PBR. I still
Did you?
enjoyed. I liked the High Life for quite a while. Not what
I
I
did
drink
too.
anymore.
Did you guys have American Light down there? You remember that?
I have no idea what that is.
American Light. That was like bottom of the barrel light beer.
No, the problem I've run into is the best beer I ever had was made out of a very small brewery in Conroe, Texas, and they no longer. It was Southern Star Brewing made this beer. It was absolutely incredible, and there was a local place here. It was a gastropub that got it, and I can't get it anywhere else. It's very very upsetting. I enjoy. There's a local beer called Three Mavens that I'm a big fan
Mavens.
of. When in doubt, good with the Newcastle.
Oh, okay.
Willie Thornbrew says,
Newcastle.
"Okay, Robert, pick me a winner for the women's and men's Royal Rumble." Oh, we will. That's the plan today. Mr. Dre Owen says Mr. Iguana should win the Rumble.
I wouldn't be
We'll
against that.
we'll see. Michael Watson says the SWAT team to make their return in Saudi this weekend. That was yes, that was, I think they were the squat team actually. Is the way that it was spelled. Those
Mm.
two big dudes from the '96 Rumble, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and then
I want
one
to
at
get.
Breeze says, "Don't forget your 25 $1 bills to pay your friend for the Rumble." If you have not listened to this week's episode of Working Stiff, it is worth going out of your way just for some of the insane anecdotes that popped out of there. Cammy Star, all the way at the bottom, just dropped a Bud Ice reference. Fear of the
Oh,
Penguin.
Bud Ice.
We do.
Wow, that
I
is
look, that advertising worked on me as a kid, where I was like, "Oh, I gotta try Bud Ice," because the Penguin commercials were delightful.
the frogs too. You couldn't beat the frogs.
I also, well, the but that yeah, but that was just for Budweiser. Bud Ice
Mm.
was the Penguins. And then there were so many ads when I was a kid for when Zima first came out. That was a big thing. Didn't know what it
Yeah.
was. Now I'm just like,
Mhm.
ugh.
I had a
One dude
couple
in
Zimas.
college in my fraternity, once we caught him drinking a Zima.
Oh yeah.
Never lived it down. Now, as civilized adults, we realized he had a genetic sensitivity to wheat and couldn't drink beer.
Oh, oh.
Didn't stop us from
Didn't
25
stop in
years ago
college.
bullying this man to the point of tears.
Well, that's the thing to do in college, though. It's where you learn, and you have to adapt to life.
Wrestling Old Head says White Claw is the new Zima.
I don't know about that.
I don't. It's possible. I don't know. I don't know what Zima. I'm sure it was some sort of uh, entry point for people, and the only entry point that we're worried about are the 30 men and 30 women entering this year's Royal Rumble. SmackDown, I don't know. SmackDown already going on. I know it's taking place in Riyadh,
It's a
so
good point. I didn't even consider it. How many hours ahead is Saudi Arabia from us?
a lot. I also love that Tony Gong threw a who remembers Bartles and James? Dang.
Who's Bartles James? I don't remember that.
It's another one of those none of those drinks. Death X Max X Matt asks, is it on now? I don't know. It'll air tonight at 8 p.m. on USA Network here in good
Shit,
old US of A. But SmackDown's gonna.
Marcus, he could win the Rumble. My brother Marcus could win the Rumble. It could happen. Number 30.
You would need a global pandemic of such a proportion that I would be scared for everybody. For Marcus D'Angelo, with his profanity laced tirades to win a PG product.
Just a garbage mouth, that guy. And
You had me at he's just garbage. SmackDown, just to briefly kind of touch on it, not a lot of ground to cover really.
I wouldn't think.
So the gist of it is really, are we going to further set up what's going on with Cody and Jacob Fatu coming off of Saturday night's main event? I'm sure a last minute Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre promo to make us care about this incredibly rushed feud. And yeah, a lot of people yelling about wanting to win the Royal Rumble.
Do you think we'll get the schmaz of like a bunch of guys brawling it out, or gals?
It's possible. I mean, we saw the brawl on Saturday night's main event with Cody and Fatu. You could have another crazy ass brawl with a bunch of people. It is tradition, and we like tradition here, but it's more important to get to some predictions for the Royal Rumble. Dom,
Yes, that's right, Robert. It is tomorrow, everybody. 2 p.m. start time, as a matter of fact. Let's kick it off with the ladies. What do you think's going to happen with this? Who would you your pick for this Rumble, and what would be a good surprise to have in this Rumble match?
I don't think there's a good surprise for the women's Rumble. I don't think that there's the reality of it is we've seen sort of the women of the past who didn't get their flowers or opportunities already be in Royal Rumble. So we've seen Trish, we've seen Lita, we've seen Mickey, we've seen Michelle McCool, we've seen the Bellas. You go back further, I know Scott Chaplin keeps saying he wants to see Ivory or Jacqueline. I don't. Number one, I don't think that this is necessarily going to matter. I don't think it resonates with that audience. I know a lot of people have been seeing Paige has been uploading footage of her training. It'd be an interesting surprise to have her there, but when you have a surprise like that, they got to go in and lose. So,
Yeah,
I don't know that it necessarily matters all that much for a surprise. I know that Bianca is someone who might uh, appear. That's who a lot of people have kind of been guessing at. That would definitely constitute some form of a surprise and a return. My guess, my inkling is, you look at the board for WrestleMania, and I talked about this a little bit on Working Stiff, but I'll just kind of summarize it briefly here.
sure.
There really are only 12 matches available to the WWE for WrestleMania. 6 night one, 6 night two. Maybe you can throw a seventh in there, something short. You're going to have two men's world title matches. Now you're down to 10 matches. You're going to have two women's world title matches. You're down to 8 matches. You're going to probably do one men's tag match, one women's tag match. You're now down to 6 available matches. You're going to probably have either an intercontinental or a U.S. title match. You're down to 5. You're going to have one of the women's secondary matches, probably the women's intercontinental. You're down to 4 matches potentially at WrestleMania that do not involve a title. There are a lot of people who need a home on WrestleMania. Yes, you have the catch-all battle royal. That's fine.
Usually
But
SmackDown though now, right?
it's
They
on
usually do that.
SmackDown, but there's a
Yeah.
lot of big names that need something to do. So on the women's side, the two women's champions are not overly impressive. Jade Cargill, Stephanie Vaquera. Stephanie Vaquera is fantastic in the ring. However, she hasn't been given a true story to show us what she can do. It was she won the title. There was that Nikki Bella thing, and now she's sort of in this quasi feud with fake Lady Diesel. Um,
Like fake Lady Diesel.
on
Yep.
the SmackDown side, Jade is someone you can build an opponent to. So I feel like that's where you're going to wind up seeing the winner of the Rumble. It's going to be someone coming from the SmackDown side of things, because on the Raw side, there's a lot of space between now and Mania. I think that the women's tag team match at Mania is going to be a big catch-all. I'm going to just proffer a guess, a 4-team, maybe even a 6-team women's ladder match. You need a ladder match. You need a big spectacle in there. If it's a women's tag team ladder match, that gives you an opportunity to put in the Kabuki Warriors. That's Nia Jackson, Lash Legend. That's Bailey and Lyra Valkyria. That's Alexa Bliss and Charlotte. That's 2 women from the Judgment Day, and possibly Rhea and Io, if they really needed to go that degree. Jade needs an opponent. The most logical, clear opponent would be Tiffany Stratton. So I think Tiffany Stratton winning the Women's Royal Rumble gives the WWE a lot of latitude, because on the Raw side, you can get to a Raw Elimination Chamber match to determine the number 1 contender. And there's a lot of names you can throw in there. You can put Rhea in there, and Io, and Liv. Becky is the Women's Intercontinental Champion. There's no reason to take that off of her. You can put her in there with AJ Lee. That feels like a WrestleMania match.
Sure. Well, so you're leaning towards Tiffany winning it. That's your prediction.
My prediction would be Tiffany. The only other potential would be a Bianca Belair surprise, and she
That
goes
was
in
gonna
there
be
and
my
challenges.
That was gonna
That's
be
sort of the backup spot. But it's only if Bianca's back and she's healthy. And then it's like, if Tiffany isn't in this, then what are you doing with Tiffany Stratton to go from big match at WrestleMania last year to not even on the card this year?
You could find something for her for sure.
Well,
You could put her-
that's why I did the math.
Yeah.
You can only really have so many matches on there, and if you're doing 2 women's world title matches, a women's intercontinental title match, and a women's tag title match, that's 4 of your 12 matches right there.
I wouldn't be I know it's not everybody can get on the dance card necessarily. I wouldn't be against them waiting to bring Tiffany more so to the forefront if they move her to Raw after WrestleMania, and then you have some good dance partners in regards to like Rhea Ripley or something like that, or Io Sky, and she's a heel, like because she's a natural heel at that. So kind of what I would think.
Hold
right.
on. I just want to clarify. Devin Dowling.
Oh,
Pretty sure that was a Deep Blue something reference he was trying to throw out there with a modifying the lyrics of Breakfast at Tiffany's to I
That's
said,
what it
what
sounds
about
like.
a Rumble win for Tiffany? Tip of the cap to you, sir.
There.
That is right in my wheelhouse.
Wow, see you
90s
back
one
on.
hit 90s one hit wonders all day every day. We're making that happen. Uh there's a men's Royal Rumble as well, but there's two other
Oh,
matches on this show, Mr. D'Angelo, that are worth
yes,
addressing.
there is. Let's start with the WWE Championship match. It's Drew McIntyre. He's your champ. He'll be defending it against Sami Zayn after he earned his shot at Saturday Night's main event. Robert, that was on Saturday. If you didn't know, but who do you think is gonna? Does Sami have a shot to win this title?
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
Anything can happen in the World Wrestling Federation. There is still, because of the Elimination Chamber, they kind of get to cheat a little bit. They can write whatever they want and get themselves out of any booking scenario based on the chamber. So if they want to give Sami Zayn the feel good moment of he wins the title and then he goes and loses it at the Elimination Chamber, so be it. I don't think that's going to happen. The question is Drew going to win? It's how Drew is going to retain. So um, there is a possibility that Drew cheats and wins, low blow, hits him with the belt, ref down, whatever it may be. Sammy is mad. There's a possibility that Drew intentionally gets himself disqualified or counted out and gets to keep the title and cheats Sammy out of it. There's the possibility that Jacob Fatu or Cody Rhodes inadvertently wind up costing Sammy the match, and now Sammy is angry. The most likely outcome here is a scenario where Drew McIntyre has to put his title on the line at the Elimination Chamber. And there are a number of people who can then go after him for it. So you could have a motivated, angry Sami Zayn. You've got Cody. You've got Jacob Fatu. You've got Randy Orton. You've got Trick Williams. That fills out a pretty good six-person Elimination Chamber match.
I think that's a fair take. Yeah, I could see them though. If they did put the title on Sammy, it would feel like a big deal, even though they haven't done the due diligence of hyping this up well enough, giving it enough time. Like that would kind of pay it off if they were to go that route. So I'd be interested because it would add another intriguing ripple as we go to WrestleMania if Sammy had the championship. So, and Drew got his flowers. Winning that championship. So I don't know. We'll see. If I had to make a pick, I would stick with Drew though too. So. All right. Another big match here, Robert. It's Gunther. He's got nothing to lose, but AJ Styles does. His career. Is this the final match we'll see of AJ Styles, Robert?
Yes.
Okay.
How's that for short and to the point?
I like it.
The reality is, they've been leaning very heavily into it makes the most sense for AJ Styles to retire, and they may be trying to pull a swerve, bro, as your good friend, close personal acquaintance Vince Russo would say.
Oh.
The Nakamura mystery tweet that got deleted, the report that AJ Styles has filed trademark rights for his logo. But on the other hand, what is there left for AJ Styles to really accomplish in the WWE? He's retiring now because he doesn't want to wrestle long past his ability to be viable in the ring. He wants to be able to spend time with his family. He wants to be home. He wants to be healthy. He wants to enjoy his kids. He wants to enjoy his wife. He has long-term opportunities in WWE to work, whether it's in NXT or behind the scenes within WWE. If he doesn't retire here, if he beats Gunther, that means that the buildup of Gunther beating Goldberg and retiring him, beating John Cena and retiring him, but then AJ gets the win, it undercuts Gunther, who's already in sort of a precarious position with the audience. If Gunther retires AJ Styles here, and he goes on to be the number one contender to go against CM Punk, and Punk's narrative is, I'm the grizzled old vet. There's not that many of us left. You retired three of my, compatriots. The deck is stacked against me. And that's a ton of heel heat on Gunther, and that's a WrestleMania quality storyline.
Okay, so I'm kind of with you. I think this is probably AJ's last match, but I guess the argument could be made. I don't know if we discuss this, and it leads into the next match that we're going to talk about. Could Gunther win the Rumble, and then all that's him losing to AJ is washed away in certain ways
So
as a
I
viewpoint.
believe, because I've heard this, that the stipulation is if AJ wins, I think he gets Gunther's spot in the Rumble.
Oh, is that true?
I feel like I heard them say this. I'm double checking on the Wikipedia gimmick if that was in fact the stipulation.
Hmm.
I don't know. I thought that may have been the case, but the other part of this that I feel like gives a little bit of a saving grace, and I talked about this with Scott, was we know AJ's finisher is the calf crusher. If he gets this into Gunther and wears him down and wears him down and wears him down, and somehow Gunther wins, but he's not 100% in the Rumble. And the reason why Gunther ultimately winds up getting eliminated is because of the injury to his calf. It's a little bit of a moral victory for AJ Styles.
Yeah. Hmm. I guess, but I'll lock my final prediction in for this match. I will say AJ Styles. I think they're swerving us all, bro. I'm going my buddy Vince Russo route, swerving us all. AJ's gonna beat Gunther, and
It
not
just,
saying it's the right move to make,
I'm
but
not saying it's the right move. It's just, it's like, then what is there? Like
I'm with you.
what's next?
I'm with you.
We saw AJ have a great match with Cody. We saw AJ have a great match with Cena. He had a great match with Nakamura. He got the match with Punk in a WWE ring, which was the one dream match in WWE we didn't really have. There really is nothing left. And I feel like if you want to make the most impact for your retirement, this is it.
It's certainly a different horse of a different color because we've got the huge farewell tour with Cena we just experienced. So if this gets cut short for AJ, I like that whole dynamic of it all. It makes AJ's retirement feel more impactful in a lot of ways. I think too at the same time. So Fantasy Booker T, I know you like HBK, but he is not wrestling again.
Well, no. He thinks that HBK and AJ is a dream match.
Yes,
Sean ain't getting in the ring again. I
Sean.
think
No,
he
it's
learned
just
his
not
lesson
happening.
after Saudi. There's no upside to it.
And he just had surgery too. So not good.
Men's Rumble.
Men's Rumble. All right. I'll ask you the same way I asked the earlier match. Who do you think is going to win, and what's going to be a surprise, if any?
I think one of the 30 men are going to win.
Good job.
I think surprise is tough. The concept of the surprise in a Royal Rumble match for years was a wrestler we hadn't seen in a while. Hey, look, they're making a random one-off appearance. Here's Tatanka. Here's the Honky Tonk Man. Here's the Godfather. Here's Val Venus. Gold Dust was a surprise a couple times. One of my favorite surprises was, I think it was '04 when it was Mr. Perfect.
That was my favorite too. I think that was 01 actually, Robert. If I'm
Was it?
not
Oh, was it?
mistaken.
No, it was
Or
whenever
02
they had to
because
play
he came
right
back.
from hell.
NWO came
Yeah,
back. NWO
yeah.
came back the next pay per view.
So there really aren't a lot of guys who fit that mold anymore, who are bygone talents that we haven't seen in a long time, who can still go and contribute. We've seen Booker T do it several times. Maybe Diamond Dallas Page, but what does that really get you for that qualification of a surprise? You're not going to debut Hobbs in Saudi Arabia simply because I don't think that audience is going to have an awareness of who this guy is. I think they're going to see him and it's going to be like, okay, there's this guy. We don't know who it is. Wait, is that Obafemi, who we've been seeing video packages for? Like, you run that issue of a more casual fan not knowing what the hell's going on. Jericho in the Rumble doesn't mean a whole lot.
I
If
think it
he's,
does.
I think if he's returning, you make that a big moment. And whoever Jericho's opponent is at WrestleMania, that is one of the 4, random matches. And then whoever he debuts against. I thought Brock was going to be a surprise. They've announced Brock. The only surprise that I could theoretically think of that may matter to the Saudi audience would be Jeff Hardy.
Which would be a great one, I think. But I guess how I think about it too is WWE's been more about the immediate. They haven't been really long term planning things in a lot of ways. So I could just see them, hey, we're going to satiate the Saudi audience with a big surprise. Who's bigger than bringing back a name like Chris Jericho? And, I don't think it would be, again, in the same terms of like the previous match, I don't think it would be the right move to make, but I think it might be the move they're going to go with, anyways, as a surprise. But who do you think's going to win?
I mean, there's really only four potential names who could win the Royal Rumble convincingly. It's there's Cody Rhodes, Gunther, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns. I don't think it's going to be Cody. I think Cody is going to be part of the Elimination Chamber match. I don't think it's going to be Gunther because I think that they're going to be able to tell whatever the injury story is with Gunther. I don't think it's going to be Brock because I think whoever eliminates Brock is going to go pair off with Brock. Roman Reigns is the only name that really makes sense because he is not, it's the who's going to be there tomorrow. We know Roman Reigns is wrestling at WrestleMania. He's on the poster, he's in the commercial, he's going to be there. He is not a week in, week out performer. There is no compelling storyline that Roman Reigns has right now where if he wasn't in the title picture, it's, oh, we're going to do Roman Reigns versus X. There is no Roman Reigns The Rock match teed up for WrestleMania. There is no Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. No one really cares. Not a main event match. If Roman Reigns wins tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon, January 31st, he is just this spectra, this presence looming in the distance that is going to challenge whoever is the WWE undisputed champion. Whether it's Drew, whether it's Cody, whether it's Fatu, whether it's whoever it is, all you need is Roman is the final boss, for lack of a better term. So you get a lot of mileage out of one match with Roman Reigns versus him being on TV every single week going into WrestleMania. And he doesn't need a story. His story is, I was the tribal chief. I was the head of the table. I was the undisputed champion. I want that back. That's all you need.
I think he is probably the most convincing one, especially with all that set up. Um, yeah, I guess I could see them making a play for Cody as well, being the third three-time person again, like Austin, and that's part of his story, and maybe pushing him more towards a heelish side of things, as we've kind of been they've maybe been hitting at. So I'll go with Cody just to be different, but I'm kind of with you too on the Roman aspect.
I still think we get to Cody Roman. I just think this is the clearest path to it. Um, the other kind of minor piece of intrigue that they have not really fully addressed is, Jacob Fatu got attacked. Drew has been adamant that it's not him. As a heel, it would get a lot of leverage him to say, yeah, it was me. So was there someone else who attacked Jacob Fatu? And was it Sami Zayn?
Ooh,
I think if Sami loses here, I think there is a path to Sami potentially turning heel, or I think the other long-term option, because they've been playing with it a lot, is Cody turns heel at Mania.
yeah,
I think that Cody losing the title, clawing to win it back, that desperation to remain champion, and then he cheats to beat Roman Reigns to retain the title, and we're off to the races. And we will be off to the races and back on Monday to talk all the fallout of Royal Rumble. So you want to be here Monday at noon Eastern on a plethora of platforms, including the WW Creative _ISH X account, the at Dominic D'Angelo X account, the at SE Scoops X account, and on YouTube on Rumor and Innuendo, ad-free shows, and podcast heat. Dom, even though you sent me the wrong link and you tried to banish me to Riyadh, you're still the best producer in all of wrestling podcasting. So on behalf of the man who is manning a bombed out shelter somewhere, Dominic D'Angelo, I'm Robert Karpolis. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
I'm in Saudi, everybody, and so is my brother Marcus, and he's gonna win.